Welcome back to Calmsden, and today I am going to deal with my contract addiction and then going to get some cows brought, and we are going to progress into May and hopefully do first cut. So let's roll the intro and get to work. So I'm not going to make you watch me do all the contracts again. There are 4 fertilizing contracts and I just can't resist because there's a bunch of money there. So Smock wants field 13 fertilized. These are a lot of the fields that we either fertilized or sprayed herbicide on last time. So we have field 13, field 17, field 18 and field 30. So if we have a look in the field calculator, we have fertilizer. So 4.5, 7.5, 1,100, 11,500. Yeah, 13. Sorry, 4.5. Let's call that 9. 13.5. About 17,000 litres. That's quite a lot of fertilizer. So one of the things that I want to do, which is why I haven't just jumped straight into the time lapse, is I want to pick up a box to put on the front to increase our fertilizer capacity. We don't have anything for that. Is there anything else interesting? Not really that we need at the moment. Oh, that's pretty. But we don't really need it. So let's go back into the store. And Giants ever so helpfully released the Vadistat Tempo V8, which comes with the 2,500 litre box to go on the front of the tractor. So we are going to buy ourselves one of those. A classic Mr. CDP move. Probably horrendously unrealistic. I'm sure we could jury rig a pipe from the box that's on the front to blow fertilizer into the spreader at the back. Sure, we could do that. So that gives us, I think, so it's 2,200. 6 and a bit thousand, so we're going to have to come back, but let's fill up with fertilizer, shall we? I am going to buy these basic bags because I can buy them in batches. It'll save some clicking. So we'll get 6 to start off with. Get 5 to start off with. I guess we'll have to redeem the some of the contracts to be able to buy the rest. But yeah, I'm going to do all of this off camera, so you'll see me next. Once I have finished these, there'll probably be May, because it'll probably take me the rest of this game day to get that done, and we can then buy some more cows, and which I might try and sneak in actually before we progress to the next game day. We'll buy some more cows, and then we will actually, I might do that now. I might borrow some money and do that now. Do we have an animal trailer? No. Are there any in sale? No, so we need to lease an animal trailer. I'm going to do that now. I fill up the first spreader, and we're going to do a couple of runs to buy some more cows. So I do still intend, we'll just drop these off over here, do still intend to do what I said and turn field 8 into an open pasture. I think what we'll do first is get the main cow pen full. I think that's probably sensible. And yes, I can see the collectible there. I am not interested in doing collectibles. We'll use the Fent and see what we've got for animal trailers. 8. 9, 5. So we'll probably go for that. Well, that's going to cost a heck of a lot more to lease. 7, 6, 8 it is. I think this is probably one we used last time. So, only a few hundred to lease. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll borrow some money. We paid back a load of the loan last time. So we'll borrow a bit of money to be able to afford to buy the cows, and then we'll just pay it back from the contracting we're about to do. Sounds like a sensible plan, doesn't it? I think we'll buy... I don't even know how many cows we've got at the moment. If we buy another 2 loads of Holsteins, that'll double our milk production, and then we'll maybe buy... We're going to get some beef soon. Maybe we'll buy another batch of 8. Or if we buy 8 Angus as well, we'll get another 24 cows. We've started out really small from a cow point of view on here. Last time I did a series like this, I really pushed buying the cows, and that did quickly set us up to have a decent income. But the contracting on here is pretty nuts. So yeah, that's another 100 grand's worth of contract sitting there to get done from fertilizing. So that is really going to help out with buying a Fent 1000. We don't need to do that. I have nothing that needs a Fent 1000. What it would allow us to do is maybe get a better baler and things like that. Upgrade our grasswork equipment, which would be much more sensible. Because we have a lot of grass to cut and bale and collect and stuff. We also need to clear out the forage pit. So we're probably going to have to do bales for first cut, I think. Not forage, the silage pit. I think we're going to have to do bales for first cut because we don't have anywhere to put our chaff or grass to turn into silage. That'll probably also be easier for getting everything back from the 2 grass fields that we've got fairly spread out. Maybe we can pick up the extractor, which I've wanted to use on here. I've got my yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll get ourselves an extractor to do the bale wrapping with, because that lets us wrap big bales. I might need to, in the background, edit in my custom bale wrap from Casa Farms, which I'm using on Greenlands, because I think that looks so cool. I think I've got square and round for that, so may well have to do that. It's actually turned into a longer intro than I expected, because I was just going to do a quick explanation and grab the fertilizer and get going, but in fact we are getting our first batch of cows. So if you're a fan of Maize Plus, one of the things that will allow you to do is really customize. We need to borrow a bunch of money, don't we? Borrow 50 grand, that should do it. Let me just do this and I'll carry on with what I was going to say. Yeah, so if you're a fan of Maize Plus, one of the things that will allow you to do is customize all the things like what the animals eat, how much they eat, how much straw they use, how much manure and slurry and milk and things they produce, depending on which type of animal you're using, obviously. And also you could change things like what age cow starts to produce milk. So I think at the moment they pretty much produce milk from fairly early on. You could change it so it was like old seasons where they had to have reached the age that they've had their first calves before they produce milk, if you wanted. And I'll probably do some videos on all that. Well, I will do some videos on all that kind of stuff. And there'll be in the Maze Plus Discord there is a channel for sharing all those kind of things, so people will be able to download the files probably. If not, I'll find a way of, I'll put them on my Discord so people can download them. I'm pretty sure that there'll be a channel on the Maze Plus Discord for downloading things like that. And Maze Plus is set up, or from talking to the Alien Pool, is set up so that it's much more customizable through XML changes rather than having to get deep into editing things. God, I left the farm messy last time I was on here. We need to have a darn good tidy up. Let's send those into the yard, into the shed. Okay, time lapse time. I'll get the other 2 loads. I may do more. At least 2 more loads of cows into the shed. Check they've got all their feed and enough feed and stuff. Keyboard fail. That was my keyboard disconnecting and reconnecting. Yeah, I'll get the rest of the cows done, and then we'll get those contracts done out of the way, and then we'll get into first cut. So I brought the wrong box for the fertilizer. I was going to buy the K-branded one because it matches the cedar, but we didn't. We brought the Vedestat, which I think is the biggest one, so it sort of makes sense for how we're getting through the contracts on here. Second load of Holsteins in, and then I think I go and buy a trailer full of beef cattle as well. Really need to push growing the herd on here, because that will be a way of getting a nice regular income, and it will let us do some other things. I'd want to put the small dairy on here, seeing as I'm not using it on Greenlands. That will be kind of cool. The other really cool thing that's happened, and thanks to Smock Farmer for posting it, is that the KS6B root crop harvester is back in FS22. Haven't tried it yet, have downloaded it. Yes, we're just getting a load of young Angus to grow on. Downloaded it, haven't tried it yet. It was one of my favourite mods in FS19. At the moment, it's just set up as a potato and a sugar beet harvester, because that's all the root crops we have on most maps. There are a couple that have some others, but yeah, I am definitely going to be using that on here. It's perfect for the size of farm that we're running on here. And I haven't checked, but in FS19 it was really cheap. I think it was like 10 grand. So yeah, we'll be using that. Might be using it a lot on lots of things. So yeah, just finishing up the contracts there. I think we've got just over 100 grand, which is pretty nice. And we're going to start spending some money now. Want a windrower, so I just had to go and install the Cavernan one that I wanted. Just looking through the sales. The headers for the New Holland forage harvester that I was thinking of using are in the sale, but I'm debating whether I actually want to use that. So got ourselves the K-branded round baler, because that will do bigger bales than the other one, and the bale wrapper. I have attempted, or I attempt partway through, to add my custom bale wrap. It does kick in eventually, but not straight away, weirdly. So yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to mow and bale all of the fields. I think it takes me 2 game days. I'm not going to show it all because it gets a bit repetitive. Using smaller scale equipment, there's a lot of repeat work. So we're going to send the Fent off to the store to pick up the baler and the bale wrapper, and we're going to get to work mowing with the Ford. I do really like these mowers, but I don't think you need to see me bale and wrap 4 fields, which is what I'm going to do. We're going to make this all into silage for first cut. Second cut we'll do as hay, and maybe third cut as hay as well. Or silage, because we'll need grass silage, because maybe we'll have Maze Plus by then, who knows. Let's pick up the baler and get auto drive working again. So we've got a bunch of fields to mow, make some silage. I don't get all the bales collected this episode, and as I'm recording the end of this episode, I also do a contract for mowing on field 7 for Cartech. So you'll see in the next episode we still have the equipment from that, which is going to help us collect the bales. Oh, yeah. That's the baler back. Let's just find somewhere to abandon that. And we'll go get the bale wrapper. That trailer takes a bit of a battering today because I seem to have parked it in a really bad spot. The other thing is this is the second time of recording most of the gameplay footage for this. I recorded it once and I just wasn't happy with it. And so I reverted back to a previous save and did it again. I brought some slightly different equipment and I really didn't like it. To be honest, I brought one of 4D Modding's balers. It was the D1000 and I'd never used it before and I didn't really pay much attention when I brought it, and I started baling and I realised it makes tiny bales and I didn't want tiny bales, I wanted normal size bales. So yeah, I reverted the save and had to redo all the stuff I'd done, and we brought the base game round baler instead. The joy of playing a video game and not real life, although in real life I'm sure someone would have pointed out, or I would have realised looking at the baler, that it makes small bales. So yeah, slightly longer video again today, still trying to push the length out a bit, that's what she said. Yeah, it's a nice first cut. I do enjoy doing grass work in Farm Sim. I hate mowing the lawn at home. It's really weird. I will happily mow grass in this game all day, pretty much. Whereas I loathe the hour it takes me every week or two to mow the grass at home. Maybe it's just because I'm a bit of a computer geek. I do like being outside, you know. I love when I get to go run out in the countryside, but yeah, mowing has never excited me. Maybe it's because when I was younger, I used to have to mow my neighbour's garden when I was younger because they were quite old, and so somehow my parents sorted it so I would mow their garden, and that would take me half a day with a push mower, and it was exhausting work. And yeah, maybe that's why I hate mowing the grass now, because I used to have to do it. And I think I used to have to do that like every other week, or yeah, I don't think it was every week, it was like every other week. And yeah, didn't enjoy it. But you know, when you're a kid, you sometimes have to do these things. Probably good for you in the long run, but has given me an aversion to real world mowing. Maybe if I could mow my garden with the tractor, take like half a pass, but you know, I could roll it then as well, because the dogs have destroyed it. If you like having a lawn, don't have 4 large dogs, because they destroy it. Right, first field done. I'm going to stick the Ford on course plate in the cattle pasture. The cows aren't going to eat it, so we might as well feed it to them as silage. And then I will get on with the windrowing. I had thought about upgrading the mowers on here with the cash we got from the contract, but actually these are big enough really. I can get through mowing all of the grass that we have in just over a game day. It takes me, I think, might have been 2, might have been 1, might have been 2, I can't remember. It didn't take that long in terms of game day because I'm playing fixed on ×5, so, and that was to get it baled, rowed and wrapped. So we'll get the little 60/30 on the windrower. I'm going to drive this one because Courseplay doesn't like this field. The field definition is way out over the side of the wall, and so Courseplay gets unhappy. And basically what I did a bit more actually, but I did this job at least once as I cycled through the 4 fields. In the end, with the secret field and the field up by the garden centre, up by the store in the corner of the map, I had to do most of that by hand. Courseplay didn't want to play particularly because again, the field definition, it gets confused I think between the field that I ploughed, and there is sort of a field definition there. So yeah, but it's all done, and it will be collected up in the next video, and probably that will be destined for the BGA. I have, after this episode, sped the BGA up a little bit so that it's not quite as fast as the mini BGA, because I probably will put one of those on this map when we've got the cache. But it's more useful, makes it more useful basically. I think I did it 10 times faster, whereas the mini BGA is about 100 times faster. So And what I'm thinking, if you watched the video where I showed you how to move saves between versions of the map, which I haven't done yet because I'm waiting till harvest, I stuck it in the corner here, which is probably what I'm going to do. And actually, I guess a bit of a look forward to the next episode. I have cleared the trees and the junk from that corner between the sheds and the edge of field 8, and probably thinking about putting a shed in there, actually, not the BGA. Yes, I hear where all my stuff is. Probably going to put a shed in there because we're kind of short on shed space, and I'm planning to put the silage bales under the open sided sheds that we've got there. I'm just going to bale up the headland. Hopefully that will make it easier to do the rest. I think that's sometimes what real farmers do. Sometimes. I don't know. Apparently it's not called a pallet fork. Apparently it's a pallet fork tine or some shit. Pallet fork. Anyway, let's get some baling done. You'll need to have watched the survival challenge episode to get what I'm talking about there. So if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. And you might need to watch most of it to get to that bit. So we're making, I think, 150 centimetre bales, because that's the biggest that the bale wrapper that we have can wrap. I didn't get the extractor in the end. I might do still. My concern with the extractor was, where am I going to put the bales? Now I could have brought them all over to those sheds and wrapped them into the shed, maybe. But probably it would be better to do that where I've put the straw bales, where it's open at the end. So we can always change it in the future. I wanted to get a solution to making silage bales that we owned, particularly as if we don't put these through the BGA, it's much easier to move bales when we move to 1.2 than it is to move a pile of silage, because you can't tip silage in a silage bunker once it's fermented, and we've still got a lot of silage in that pit. So yeah, that's why I'm leaving it. We will sell it off at some point. I guess the other thing is the forage dealer that I've mentioned, so the TMR sell point, that was resubmitted to Giants actually a while ago. And if you're interested in that, it's on my Discord now, while we wait for it to be tested again, because it might be a couple of weeks. Both of the BGA, so the mini BGA update and the other BGA that I've made, failed testing at the end of last week, and both have gone back. It was all mostly it was all stuff to do with the mod description, pretty much. There was one bug in the mini BGA which was easy to fix. It took me like 3 seconds to fix it, but the rest of it was in the mod description. So hopefully, and icons and pictures. I hate making store icons and mod icons. I think thanks to Giants giving me some tips, I found a way to make them hopefully good enough that Giants will accept them. So they were both resubmitted over the weekend and are back waiting to be tested. But there was nothing big. There were no big problems, which is good, because it means that they're happy with the extra bits that I've added in. So I will probably do a preview on those at some point this week. I'll probably do separate videos, so I'll probably do a preview on the mini BGA update, because it's quite a big update, and then a preview on, I might just tack the other one on the end, because that's pretty similar, but maybe not. It's got some nice new bits in it as well. So the other thing, and that'll be coming out at some point in the next day or so, is the proper announcement of what it means that I'm the Farming Agency UK ambassador. I'm still waiting for my box of Ferrero Rocher to arrive, and that's probably only funny if you're in the UK. But yeah, due to have a chat with Paul later to work out what it actually means we're going to be doing. So See a bit of rain starting to fall now. It's only a shower, so we're going to keep going. Hopefully we can get this stuff baled up and it'll be okay. Yes, I know in FS22 rain doesn't affect anything apart from harvesting, but you know, there has to be a smidge of reality. Did I mention this trailer takes a beating? Yeah. Not my finest driving in this episode. Not my finest driving. Can I blame it on the keyboard disconnecting again? That is a genuine thing that happens when I'm playing on my setup with monitors and stuff because of the KVM switch that I use. But let's go with it with a keyboard disconnect. Yeah, so got Courseplay doing the windrowing now, and that's set up to do the up-down rows first. That generally results in a neater windrow and generally means that you can run the baler on it and you don't have any issues with bales getting in the way on the headland, generally. So we're going to get this bit finished up and then we need to break the bale wrapper out. And I think part way through wrapping this field I changed to having the custom bale wrap on, but it doesn't actually take effect until a bit later on. So into the afternoon and the rain has cleared away and we can get some bales wrapped. We have 3 fields of bales to wrap, so I have baled all of the other 2 fields, so the little bit of field 12 that we mowed that's still grass and the cow pasture, and we're just going to get all of those baled up. And then, as said off camera, I will go away and do the 2 communal areas that we've got as grass and get those baled and wrapped, and then in the next episode we will collect all these bales. There's going to be a lot of them. I might actually take a load or 2 straight up to the BGA because I don't think we're going to need that many with how much food the cows eat. When we get Maize Plus, I think by default they eat a bit more, I'm not sure, but I'm probably going to turn up how much food they eat and how much straw they use, and maybe boost the amount of manure they produce just a little bit. Crops are looking good with their tram lines, even with an amateur controlling how the tram lines look. I don't think they did too bad a job, if I'm honest. And I'm just trying to get these bales up along the edge of the field, kind of in groups, sort of, apart from the bit that's not, just because it'll make it quicker to collect them. At the point of me wrapping these, I wasn't sure how I was going to collect them. You will see at the start of the next video that I now do know how I'm going to collect them. And I might have sort of mentioned it, but yeah. Mr. Caltech is a very generous man, very kind and generous local farmer. If you're not watching his YouTube series on Calmsden, you should go watch it. It's good. It's really good. It has, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, it has a very definite Mr. CDP vibe. But it doesn't have the bits that I struggle with Mr. CDP's videos. And I hope you take that as a compliment, Caltech, because it is definitely meant to be. Yeah. Go watch his channel. I have shared his videos on my community page a few times because he deserves more views and more subs. So if you're watching this and you haven't watched his video, go watch his video after you've watched mine. Finish watching mine first. I don't think I've said thank you yet to the channel members, so we'll throw that in at this point. Do appreciate the support you give to the channel. It does help me out a bit, which is really appreciated at the moment. Last field to bale up. I didn't get too many bales off of here, but you know, it all helps. It all helps keep the cows or the BGA fed. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time on Calmsden.